Alright guys, so as we know, the war between T-Series and PewDiePie, the sub gap, all of it just brings up a great time to bring up this kind of discussion about why, PewDiePie should stay number one, and the YouTube Rewind stuff that's happening, and the Forbes list that just dropped. I'm not sure about everything we're going to talk about in this video. I don't know if I'm going to split it up or not, but for right now, to focus on PewDiePie versus T-Series. These guys really, the big reason why I think, PewDiePie is great for YouTube and great to be the biggest YouTuber, because we can look at other YouTubers who constantly complain or constantly flex and just kind of try and show off. Which with flexing and showing off, I don't think anything is wrong with that. I don't think if you get something and you want to show that you have it, I mean, go for it. I don't really see a problem with that. But the complaining, is just something with a lot of YouTubers that is a big problem. Like, people just find something to complain about because they just want to. So, or at least I see that with a lot of like big YouTubers. But if you look at PewDiePie, no one has ever seen a video come out from him that's like, oh, look at my my nice house, or look at my nice car, or anything like that. No one really knows anything that he's done with any YouTube money. Like, people don't really know what stuff he's either bought, or if he has, bought expensive stuff or whatever. There's very few things, like, you can look up, there's a video out there somewhere that like talks about him having an expensive motorcycle or something, and it shows like some stuff that he bought that's expensive, but he's never made a video exclusively showing that off. And he's never really been a YouTuber, a person who's constantly complaining. Like, he might poke jokes at the stuff on like his new like videos in Meme Review and like Lawai and Pew News. He might poke fun at like complaining and stuff, but everyone knows that's a joke, and everyone knows that he's just joking, and that's the face of YouTube that YouTubers need. Like, there cannot be a number one YouTuber who can't be taken seriously. And I know there's tons of news articles and stuff on PewDiePie that show, like, try and slander his name or try and do something wrong about him, but all in all, there's nothing, they can point to him and say, this is the biggest YouTuber, and all they do is show off. Or all they do is complain. Such an easy job, everyone would say, and all they do is complain. PewDiePie doesn't really complain. He doesn't show off. He doesn't do any of that stuff where other YouTubers, just look at the YouTube Rewind. It's heavily hated, but there are YouTubers who are saying, why am I not on this, or why is this person not? And that's a big problem in of itself. But the Forbes list that just dropped, the top 10, I think it was, of highest paid YouTubers in 2018, and Lilly Singh, I think that's how you say it. She's mad that she's not on it, and she doesn't say, she doesn't point out like I should be on this number or something, or my views are up higher than this channel that's on the list. She doesn't compare that. She doesn't compare anything that would make sense. Her excuse is all in the tweet. Okay, so I just had to find the tweet because I want to read it. Hopefully I can get one on the screen, but her tweet says, 2 years ago, it was almost 2 years ago, it was almost even between male and female. Last year, it was just me. And this year, there are no females at all. Something I predicted in my Instagram caption last year. I'm concerned with the digital space is going to repeat the mistakes of ancient industries. Hope I'm wrong. So, basically, she's just complaining that she's on the list and not on the list. And she basically threw that little jab in there that, yeah, I was on the list last year. Just don't forget that I was on the list last year. But none of this has to do with your gender, and there's a ton of people that responded to this tweet talking about, I watch people because I like their content or their personality, not because of their gender. To be complaining that you're not on a list because of sexism is so dumb, especially in her position when you're making millions, possibly tens of millions of dollars on YouTube, you know, a job that people would kill for, and people would love to have a fraction of money that you make every year. They would take a fraction of it to just be better off. And you're complaining about not being on a list. So imagine if someone like this was the #1 YouTuber, most subscribed, with this attitude, like saying, wow, I'm not on a list because the list is sexist. What kind of image would that make? Like, people just would start probably blindly following you. You'd have a bunch of sheep if you know, if she was the biggest YouTuber. I mean, PewDiePie, I don't think, if he wasn't on this list, he wouldn't care. I truly believe that's like, that would be his take. He doesn't really care. The T-Series stuff is all fun. It's fun to kind of come together on a little like internet thing, a little kind of internet war, and just see how we can combat a corporation and see if we can keep PewDiePie up there. But he's even stated himself, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about being the #1 YouTuber, even though he's not technically, because YouTube music, he just passed YouTube, so YouTube music is still above him, which you can say it doesn't really count, but he has stated he doesn't care. You know, it's all fun, and it's all fun to do this, make jokes about it and memes, and keep the war going. But he isn't sitting there like, we need to do this, we have to keep this, otherwise, you know, YouTube's over or something. He's not complaining about it. If T-Series, he's said he has a video made up for when T-Series passes him. So honestly, even thinking about that, like thinking that they're going to pass him, I hope they don't. I hope we can keep PewDiePie, keep him above them. But imagine having that attitude where no one can attack that. No one can say, man, look at this guy, look at this YouTuber. You know, he doesn't care if someone passes him. He's humbled. Like, that's not a story. But if an attitude like this, blaming sexism for not being on a list because you think that you should be on a list, you want people to know you make a lot of money, but blaming sexism for a list that ranks YouTubers' money, which is all speculation because they don't know. They have no idea how much money YouTubers make. You know, nobody knows. It's all speculation. None of these numbers could be true. And there's other YouTubers talking like they know for a fact that there are other YouTubers who've made more money than what is said on the list. So you just really this would be such a terrible look to kind of, can you imagine the media outrage if, you know, if PewDiePie said this, PewDiePie wasn't on the list, and he said, oh, last year I was on the list, and this year they don't have me on it. Like, I make a lot of money. Like, people need to know. That would be all over, like, YouTubers crying about making too much money, you know, all this kind of stuff. But she's blaming sexism, and, you know, you just hate to see it. Like, I mean, there's people, you know, out there who would kill to be in her position, people out there who would kill to have a 100th of what she brings in a year off of YouTube. So just to be complaining about not making a list, it just kind of seems dumb to me. And blaming it on sexism because you just need something to blame, because you can't blame yourself. That would look dumb. You can't blame Forbes and call out them and say you have the wrong numbers. I've made more than this person, but you don't want to tell people how much you've made. You just want people to think that you're on the same level as the top YouTubers, which I'm sure, I don't really know. I don't watch your videos. I know that apparently last year YouTube, like, just making it her YouTube channel was all over recommended everywhere. So how could, okay, so her YouTube was everywhere unrecommended, but this year it's not. You know, they really aren't pushing her, so that could be why your numbers are down. And if your numbers are down compared to last year, then Forbes is just going to look at your channel and think, okay, this is what we think she could make, and go on from there. You know, do their little calculations to predict how much people make. None of it's factual. And to be crying sexism about a list when the CEO of YouTube is a woman, I just don't understand it. Like, complaining that the digital space is going to repeat mistakes of ancient industries. Like, the CEO of YouTube is a woman. The person who controls the entire platform and has tons of power over YouTube is a woman. So how can you be complaining like that? But the Forbes thing coming out and her doing this is kind of really dumb. I just think it's a really dumb response when you're making so much money. Who cares if you're on a list or not? I'm sure, other than the Pauls, I'm sure PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, you know, I'm those guys on that list, if they weren't on it, they wouldn't care. Like, that's just what I think. I think they wouldn't really care. They wouldn't be calling out Forbes. Guys, make sure that we're out here keeping PewDiePie number one. Keep him number one. Keep subbing to him. Gotta keep spreading the word. And as always, guys, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. I love seeing all the support. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you guys on my next video.